what you do when you go to work, correct?
No, not necessarily, because they get paid by the tax dollars. As a citizen, I have a right to record anywhere in public.
You do.
Yep,
You do.
exactly. So I'm not here to make them uncomfortable. However,
as a citizen, they have a right to grab our deputy and say, hey, I feel like I'm being harassed.
that's not harassment. You know that's not the definition
Go
of
read
the law.
the statute for stalking.
That's not stalking.
Look at the secondary part of it, Jonathan. Post this.
I'll post
All
it.
you people, go look at it and read it. I'm all for your constitutional right, Jonathan. I'll jump up and down for you all day long. But when it becomes to the point to where you're harassing somebody and you're putting yourself in a position to make somebody feel uncomfortable, and they do feel uncomfortable, if they're able to articulate that, Jonathan, that's going to end up being a violation of the law. We don't want you to wind up in that position. So I'm encouraging you to go read that. But at the same time, I don't care what your beef is. I want you to be able to come in and out of this place. Like I've told you before at the town meeting, whenever you stood up there and you said, I'm going to protest in silence after my 3 minutes. You remember that, Michael?
I was there.
And I had to go say, Jonathan, you got to go because you got to sit down or you got to go. And I finally said, you just need to go. Nobody from that council told you to go that night, Jonathan. That's what I was trying to prevent for you. That's the reason I said you need to go on home, stay at home a day or two, come back, because the last thing you want is that council to end up making a vote that says, hey, you're done. We don't want you on the property because we fear for our employees or we fear for whatever.
Well, that would have been amazing for
prayer,
having prayer. Now they have moments of silence, which is the same thing.
But it's not during 3-minute public comments, John. It's not the same thing. Michael, it's not the same thing during the 3 minutes. I'm not
But Michael,
arguing with
didn't you say that there was another gentleman who came up after me that time and he was more riled up than I was?
He made foul threats.
The 3 minutes gets there and somebody asks you that's leading the meeting to sit down after the 3 minutes. And if you say I'm not fair across the board, I beg to differ with that. That's where you and I are going to differ. You're going to go left and I'm going to go right, is that I am fair across the board. If somebody is asked to sit down, I ask them to sit down or else I tell them that you got to go.
Right.
Depends on what you're causing a problem about.
But however, if I'm in a public lobby, it's fair game for who is being recorded.
Up until the time that they say, I feel uncomfortable and I don't want you here. At that point, they notified our deputy who asked you to leave.
So where are my rights trumped?
Go get a tent. Do you think putting a pop-up camper in the parking lot is going to get your PI request?
That doesn't make any sense.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. That's why you'd be here 30 minutes standing around videotaping the clerk when she tells you or the girl.
No, I was waiting 30 minutes because they said they were calling you.
For what? I came over here to do something in the office up there.
Right. Well, I was told by the deputy that he was calling you, so that's what I was waiting for.
He did call and say, hey, I had to ask Jonathan to step out. I thought it was done until I looked out here and see you still out here standing around, so I felt like you wanted to talk to me.
Well,
so I come to talk to you.
I'll still have to bring it up with the sheriff then because, again, just because they're uncomfortable doesn't trump my rights. It's settled case law. You know, you can't trespass the eyes. If I'm out there and they are public servants, I have the right to record. Besides, I recorded in there. There's cameras going on right now. So if I wanted to do a PIR on those cameras, I could do it. You know?
Fill it out, Jonathan. I don't care. You're acting like you're arguing with me. I'm not arguing with you. What do you want me to tell you?
Well, no, I just want them to know that I have this right. And just because they're uncomfortable, it's not harassment. Harassment, there's a higher threshold than just me having the camera.
Are you done? Okay.
All right, so now I can go inside and find out what's going on with my PIR, correct? Why not?
Because they have asked us to tell you that they wanted you to leave the building, that they felt uncomfortable.
But how can I be trespassed?
Do I look like the Supreme Court to you?
So am I being trespassed?
I'm making a decision, Jonathan, and you're going to contest my decision, and we're not holding trial out here. You're contesting my decision based on what I know. Here's what I know. I know you came here and you asked about your PR request, correct?
Initially, but I didn't even get that far.
But you asked about it, and they told you that they didn't have it ready.
No, they didn't say. No, they said that they didn't want me recording, and that's where it stopped.
Has anybody given you your PR request and you've been here for 30 minutes?
No one's talked to me about my PR.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
So
I just want.
to go in and
I want the status.
Asked them, is it ready?
Nope. I want the status of where my PR is. It's been about 2 weeks.
Me and Chase to go in there and ask for it then?
We'll be glad to. But they've asked you at this point, kind of like the town meeting thing.
They don't want you in there.
They don't want you in there.
But you agree that
hey, listen,
you can't trespass the eyes, right?
If you go to Walmart right now and the store clerk says, hey, I'm fine with you, Jonathan, but I don't want Chase and Michael there, me and Michael's got to go.
They have the right for private business. This is not a private business. This is paid by the taxpayers.
Do you want to test that theory?
It's already been settled in case.
Do you want
Case
to test
law
that
has
theory?
already.
Do you want us to go and ask for your PR?
Go ahead.
before we
Do
get
you want them to
Mm-hmm.
end up asking you to leave the total property?
Well, they can, but then they're subject
Okay,
to a
we'll go
lawsuit.
We'll go test that theory for you, John. I'm
I-
not arguing with you.
Which PR is it? So we got the right one.
For the emails for
Councilmember.
council member. So there you have it, people. In Indian Trail, North Carolina, they are going to trespass me for publicly recording a video. So that means I get to go to the sheriff, make my formal complaint there, and then I'll have to probably talk to an attorney about suing the town, and it's not going to be pretty. So you can't trespass the eyes.
You want to tell him, Michael? Hang on.
Nothing available right now. Mike Parks is not here. He had an emergency. So I was told by, Pat said it before.
And he
They will
handles
send you an email, give you an update. That's what we were told by Alicia Massey.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I did want to talk to the town clerk because she is responsible for those documents, but it is what it is.
Apparently, the town lets Mike Parks be their communications officer,
Which he is.
which is what he is. So if you want to make an appointment to talk with the town clerk, certainly call over here and make an appointment to talk with the town clerk. You got to realize these people are busy, John. They're working.
Right?
So
And that's their job.
Unless your motive, and you cleared this up for the tape, unless your motive is to disrupt the operations of the town of Indian Trail,
No, I'm asking them to
Then-
do their job.
then you're exactly, then you should have no problem with calling, making an appointment rather than trying to sit over here and wait on somebody to come in.
As a
and talk.
citizen, I have the right to come in and ask in
Jonathan,
person. I have
You
the
got a right
right.
to do a lot of things.
Yes,
in this
I have
world.
the right to do it.
You have the right to do a lot of things in it, Michael. You have the right to do a lot of things in this world. You have to make that moral compass of, is just because I have the right to do it doesn't mean I should.
But I'm not doing anything flagrant. It's not flagrant. It's me coming in, getting information that I asked for previously. That's
got
all it is. And-
What's the time frame? 2 weeks?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
I think the law gives them a reasonable amount of time.
Sure. But I still had the right to come in and find out in person what was going on. Just what the status
You do,
was.
Jonathan, and they have the right to ban you from the property.
And have they done that?
I'll make sure that they do today.
All right. Here we go. So lawsuit here against Indian Trail, and then a lawsuit
hang on,
against
hang on.
Union County Sheriff's
Hang on, come
Office.
here. Let me make it real clear to you and your camera that at this point you're harassing the town workers
It's not harassment.
from getting their job done. Michael and I were able to go in there in about 15 seconds and get a reasonable answer to a reasonable question. Mm-hmm. You yourself are telling me you spent 30 minutes here,
Waiting for you.
Jonathan. That's unreasonable.
Waiting for you.
No, sir, that's
I
unreasonable.
have it on tape.
Waiting for me
The
for what?
the
I don't handle the
I don't
PR
know.
request.
I wasn't talking to you about that. The deputy said he was calling about the specific reason for this camera being on. He said he was calling you. Now I have to call the sheriff.
Jonathan, call the sheriff. The sheriff's going to tell you the same thing. Be reasonable, and anybody will want to work with you.
I've been doing
Be
this for
reasonable.
7 years. I've been reasonable. I've recorded meetings. I know the
I
law.
don't have the PR request.
Guys, we're getting nowhere. Just, Jonathan, hang it up. Just,
What they're going to do is what they've been asking for a while. Can we just have him banned? I've been the one arguing, saying, hey, if the guy's here taking a picture of the front lobby or taking a picture inside or in a public area, absolutely he's got the right to video. But you crossing that line when you're harassing these employees, John.
I'm not. How can I harass them?
Get
That
off
doesn't
the
make any
property.
sense.
I'm going to give you a reasonable amount
All
of
right,
time to leave the property.
I'm leaving, but I'm making my complaint against
You
the
document
sheriff.
it, you make a complaint to whoever. I'm giving you a reasonable amount of time. You're wasting that reasonable amount of time right now filming me. Reasonable.
All right,
they're on.
all right.
All right, Chase.
Don't waste your reasonable amount of time, John.